Many thanks for still sparing your time with us on the program this morning on ITV. It's time now to look at our discussion segment. Here we look at aviation development and the role of Faan in managing Nigeria's aviation sector. And this is going to be the part 4 of it. We've started about a month ago, and the part 4 will come your way this morning. And to do this, the profile you see on the screen is the man fit to discuss on this topic, development of Nigeria's aviation and the role of Faan. He is Mr. Godwin Ike. The telephone number is there. His email is equally there. Blog, you can also check him out on YouTube and Twitter. You can also send him an email to be part of the Aviation Club. Okay, and he is, of course, a licensed surveyor and a licensed estate surveyor and valuer who finds pleasure on issues, program, and events when it comes to aviation, and that has made him to travel to so many countries. In fact, he has traveled around the globe, all attending aviation programs and events. And not too long here, when Nigeria hosted the world of aviation in Abuja, he was there. He participated, and of course, he was crowned an aviation expert. Very good morning, Mr. Godunike.
Good morning, Joe. How was your weekend?
Very beautiful.
Wonderful. Wonderful, as always.
Okay, before we look at what we have today, there are two basic issues which I know that you are aware of, but we need to get your reaction on them. First is the near mishap of Max Airline coming from Saudi Arabia, of course, with 560 pilgrims on board. And just when they got to Mina Airport, he could not see because there was heavy downpour, and what should have aided him, the substitute would have been the instrument landing system that is installed in the airport, but that malfunctioned and he had issue landing.
All right, Joe. I don't have the details, right away of what went on there, but generally speaking, I just hope that we didn't have on our hands what I describe in one of my topics as Daredevil Pilots. Hoping that those pilots didn't engage in unnecessary, risks. Because normally, if you're approaching for landing during a bad weather, before you get to your what is known as decision height or decision altitude, you would have known all the parameters, landing parameters. You would have been able to confirm that your instrument landing system, everything is aligned, and you should have been able to determine that your glide slope is going to terminate you at the threshold of the runway. That is, if you're landing via instrument, flight rules, the IFR. Okay, if that's what you're coming with, then that's fine. Everything would have been said even before you get to your, decision, or rather get below your decision altitude. You would have checked all those out. Now, if you're coming in by visual flight rule, in that case, you're supposed to have clear view of where you're heading towards the runway. You're supposed to have clear view of your surroundings. That's to say, the weather is clement. Then that is also a different ball game. He has his own ways. So when somebody says to me that as they were approaching, then something went wrong with the instrument landing system, and the weather was so bad that they couldn't find their way, and so they landed slightly off the runway. Believe you me, it sounds to me like a Daredevil, piloting.
Yeah, but what if the ILS in the airport is not working? Because I understand from the teaching here that ILS work in two ways, with the on board and then the one in
that's correct.
You taught us here.
Yeah, that's correct. And if you followed the explanation I just gave you a moment ago, said even before the pilot got below his decision altitude, all the parameters of landing would have been set and everything would have been seen to be as spick and span as should be before he made up his mind to go ahead and touch down. Now, if for any reason the instrument landing system wasn't working and he had bad weather on his hands, Joe, he had only one business. And that business was take quick permission from the control tower, abort the landing, even before he got to below his decision altitude. Remember what I told you about the decision altitude. That altitude that you must make up your mind what you want to do, whether you are aborting that landing and getting back into the skies and doing a turnaround or going completely to other airports, or to say that all is well, I'm going to land. And then you head out to the threshold. Follow, if you're doing, like I said, the instrument flight rules, following your glide slope and watching all the vertical speed. When I say vertical, remember, as the plane is coming, is making a horizontal movement as well as a vertical descent. Those are taking place simultaneously, and that's why your glide slope, in your with your miniature on your screen, right in front of the pilot, shows you everything. And so as you go, you follow the slope and it terminates you at the threshold. If for any reason you find your miniature below the slope, it means you're going to touch down before the threshold of the runway, and that's not good. And if you're above the slope, it means you're going to land at the middle of the runway. That's also not good, because you may not be able to stop before the end of the runway. You must follow the slope. So if you're telling us that, you got there and the instrument landing system was not working, and the weather was bad, there was heavy rain and stuff like that, it sounds to me like Daredevil piloting.
Okay, based on that now, the AIB is really investigating that. We just hope that in no time they will give us the report of their investigation. Now we go to Ebonyi State, where the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, handed letter of approval for the construction of airport in Ebonyi State. A laudable one will say, but some people are protesting on where the airport has been, agreed to be sited, Ruzo axis of the state. Now let's start with the approval for the airport. Is it too many?
No. You can.
Should the people of Ebonyi be using nearby airports?
The issue of a state government deciding to have its own airport, if you ask me, for as long as they have the right environment that will, enable the siting of an airport, because airports are not sited anyhow. The terrain, the surrounding. Remember, planes will come down to land and take off. And so the approach to the airport must be such that they won't have obstructions. So, you don't want to have airports built where you have a lot of obstructions and that will make pilots turn and wind in order to find their way to the runway. So this siting of an airport is a technical thing. It's not a political decision, really. So if for instance, a governor, for some selfish reason, I'm not saying that that's what's going on in Ebonyi State, I'm giving you a general example of how these things work. If A governor, for some selfish reason, says, okay, I want to have this in my village. The technical, department of both NCAA and Faan, go take a look, carry out their survey, and find out that that particular site is not safe and not good enough to site an airport. They will tell the governor in blunt, clear language, this airport can't be here. Look for somewhere else within your state.
But if the authority is okay with the site
if they say it's
in that particular location,
no politics.
Why would some angry youth be? Well, I mean, why would that be protest? We'll come to that. Now, there are requirements given to the Ebonyi State government for siting of airport. Well, many people say the requirements are just too many. First, you must ensure compliance with the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Then two,
which is the NCAA that I just called a moment ago.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And then you must also comply with relevant environmental regulation. We talk about the wildlife management, but can that be possible there? Adherence to the provision of substantive Civil Aviation Act 2016. Then we have Nigeria Civil Aviation Policy 2013. You must adhere to that. Other regulations include issuance of security clearance for the Department of State Services, DSS, removal of all obstruction on the site.
I just mentioned that a moment ago.
Removal of all obstruction on the site and involvement of ministry and its relevant agencies at every stage of the development of the airport to ensure compliance with standards and recommended practices.
Makes sense. Joe, you hadn't read out this when I said to you, it's all about the law. You must abide completely. Like I said, I always say to anyone that listens, you can't afford to take any risk when it comes to aviation. Mistakes are not acceptable. Yes, it's human. We often say to make mistakes, but people are trained to be as perfect as they can be in doing this job. You just can't afford to get careless when it comes to this aviation issue, and that's the point that. So for people to be protesting after a decision has been made by experts to say, this is the appropriate location within this state where you can have an airport. It requires education. The state government must educate the people and tell them that airports are not like motor parks where you can.
The point here is that they're looking for my brothers, of course, for who they are, will be thinking of the business aspect of it. Hey, why not cite it in this area where we can make money? Why cite it in Uruzo? The compensation that you're going to pay to the people, why don't you bring it here?
Joe, unfortunately, those do not count when it comes to aviation. You've said it all by what you read out, which, I had mentioned that to you even before you read them out. It's all about appropriate location for siting an airport as approved by the various laws and and conditions of getting this job done. So the people of Ebonyi State, I counsel you, if a decision has been made by experts, then stick with that and get your airport. Stop politicking. There's no politics in this. It's a highly technical field. You need to understand that that decision cannot be made by your governor alone. It has to be made in sync with experts in this field who will decide the best place you can site your airport for safety. It's not enough to just have airport and then at the end of the day you keep slaughtering yourselves and that sort of a thing.
Okay,
so
half of the time is used. Quickly, we are going straight to the topic for today, which is aviation development and the role of Faan. Can we have clip 1 on the screen? Yeah, clip 1 is here, and I'm sure when you get yours from the iPad we can.
Oh yeah, sure.
We can proceed.
Here we go, Joe. This clip 1 was actually our last clip with part 3. Yeah, we always like to refresh the memories of our viewers so that they can flow along. And like I said before, it's such a huge topic, but I'm thinking that we should be rounding up with part 4 and leave the rest so that we can go to other burning, aviation issues that we need to be discussed. Yeah, there are so many things to deal with. So here we go. The organizational structure of Faan continues. All right. The managing director / CEO, who is responsible to the board of directors and the Honorable Minister of Aviation, directly supervises the following departments in Faan. 1, corporate communications. 2, protocol and passages. 3, internal audit and ICT. 4, customer care, that's Cevicom. 5, procurement. And 6, bus secretariat. Those are the babies of the managing director / CEO. Is totally responsible, apart from his board of directors. And the Honorable Minister, he's also totally responsible for this, right under his nose in his office, and that should be taken note of. Let's run quickly to clip 2, please. Are we there? Yes. Names and locations of Faan-managed airports in Nigeria. Here are the Nigerian airports managed by Faan and their locations according to their regions, not the geographical one that we often say, but this is just purely,
kind of
not those political, geopolitical regions. No, but as in north, south, east, and west, that sort of thing. That's what we are dealing with right here. Now, northern region, you have the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, which is the Faan regional headquarters for the north.
And started in Kano?
Yes, that's in Kano. Then you have the Maiduguri Airport, Maiduguri. You have the Yola Airport, Yola. Sultan Abubakar III Airport, Sokoto. And Omar Musa Yar'Adua Airport in Katsina. Okay? North Central region, you have the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, where we are now, which is the Faan regional headquarters for this area. Now, you have the Yakubu Gowon Airport, Jos. You have the Kaduna Airport, Kaduna, Mina Airport, Mina, Gombe Airport, Gombe, and the Makodi Airport, Makodi. Clip 3 very quickly. Are we there? Yes, we're there. Names and locations of Faan-managed airports in Nigeria continue. Southeast region, you have the Port Harcourt International Airport, or Magwa, which is the Faan regional headquarters for that area. You have the Margaret Ebo Airport, Calabar, Akano Ibian International Airport, Enugu, Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, Akwa Ibom International Airport, Uyo, and Osubi Airport, Warri. Okay? In the southwest region, we have the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, which is the Faan regional headquarters for that area. Then you have the Benin Airport, Benin City, Ilorin Airport, Ilorin, Akure Airport, Akure, and Ibadan Airport, Ibadan. All right. Let's take a look at clip 4. We are there. State-owned airports include, because they are quite state-owned, but normally will always be managed by Faan, except the state says, no, we want to deal directly, we want to, under the regulations, and we want to concession this airport to private managers and stuff like that. That's also allowed, but within the confines of the law. That's correct. So we have this Ahmadu Bello International Airport, KB State. You have Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa International Airport, Bauchi State. Jalingo Airport, Taraba State. And Asaba Airport, Delta State. And Duse International Airport, Jigawa. Let's move to our last clip for the day, clip 5. Now, Joe, here is an interesting area that you need to really listen to and take a look. 10 reasons, according to Faan. I actually picked up this verbatim from the Faan website. Their own ease of doing business and inviting investors to come and do business with them. I said, oh, that's quite interesting to know. But they are giving those investors. And by the way, my viewers, Faan has not paid one dime for this seemingly, advertisement of their business. But that's correct. But remember, the essence of what we're doing here is to give. We are busy giving. We're not receiving. To the aviation sector, to be the best and to be respected in the world. And that's what this business is all about. And I educate you out there on things that you need to demystify the aviation sector so that you all participate and make our aviation sector a great one. That's what this is all about. So for those who imagine that, why are we advertising Faan? How much have they paid for this? They've paid nothing. It's all part of it. So 10 reasons why you should do business with Faan, according to Faan, Faan's website. Here are 10 reasons why you should do business with Faan. Faan is saying, number one, we have stable democratic government in place. Number two,
and that is correct.
Correct.
Number one is correct.
Potentially popular tourist destinations in a country of scenic beauty. With airport connections in Cross River, Bauchi, Kwara, Osun, Plateau, Kaduna, Kano, Taraba, and Adamawa states. I guess these are states where people can carry out tourism.
But the connection has a question mark because there are some that you cannot fly in when it is past 5, like the Asaba Airport.
Well, that's why I continue to say to you and to my team viewers.
That's not obtainable in developed clients.
No. That's the reason I keep saying that we are yet to scratch the surface. We haven't really dug in deep in our aviation sector. There's so much to do. It's unbelievable. So much to do. But every minister will come along with his team, do his bit, move on. It's a continuous process. Another one comes, do his bit, and move on. But what's important is let's do what is effective at all times so that we just keep, improving and improving until we get to the standard that we are all desiring. I am hoping this will happen in my lifetime because we just have a whole lot to do. A whole lot to do. So, number three, high population. We have, according to Faan, about 180 million people. It means a whole lot of purchasing power, a whole lot of patronage.
But that also has some question marks because the fares are not friendly. Yes, there's a
well, aviation is not cheap. It's such cheap business.
I remember during the days of the late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, when he was the governor of Katsina State, he intervened. He subsidized the airfares. If you are flying in from Abuja, from anywhere to Katsina, or from Katsina to anywhere, to anywhere you so choose, the fee, you pay half of the fee, half of the fares, while the state government takes care of the remaining half.
Makes sense, but you see, it's also up to those in Faan to carry out their marketing in such a way that they can lure in state governments to show interest in the aviation activities in their home states, and then find a way to increase accessibility to the services. I'm not going to teach them their job. They should know what to do to get more people fly. If they don't know, they should come and ask us. That then we'll ask them for money. That's when they pay. Or at the moment, we're giving them free information.
Just for the benefit of the viewers, we can just give them a little bit.
Let's finish with what they are. Why the 10 reasons they're asking people to come do business with them. Number 4, diversified economy. I mean, agriculture, mineral resources, manufacturing. Joe, I don't know whether our economy is really as diversified as has been mentioned here, because our mineral resources are mostly carried out illegally by some illegal. Apart from our crude, that is organized and handled by NNPC, the rest of them, I'm not sure. But anyway. And then the manufacturing is also going through a hectic time because of electric power issues.
Yeah, but when we came out of
foreign exchange issues,
when we were in recession, even going deep into that crisis, it was manufacturing and agriculture sector that brought us out of recession.
Fair enough. So I'm only encouraging that we pay more attention. That's what I'm saying. Let's pay more attention so that those that want to come in would. I actually spoke with somebody yesterday in Jos, last night actually, and I was really pleased to hear that a lot of people are coming from outside Nigeria to buy our potatoes from Jos. But then I asked the question, is this organized? Are Nigerians involved? And then I got the bad news that these people are actually dealing directly. It shouldn't happen. Somebody in the Ministry of Agriculture should really step in. It shouldn't happen. It's just like going to China and going to do the business that is reserved for the locals. The Chinese government won't let you do it. You must go through a local agent. And so when you have people from Mauritania and the rest of them, they mention a lot of these other North African countries that are flooding into Plateau State in Jos to buy up potatoes and the rest of them there. And some of them are actually resident now, going into the farms to buy. They shouldn't be allowed to do such things. Those should be reserved for Nigerians. The rules must be put down there by the state government that you can only do this through agents. It's a way of creating jobs as well. You encourage the young farmers there to sit in there as agents. They regulate them, tell them, listen, this is the margin you can make. You can't get greedy. You can't chase away our visitors with excessive profiteering and the rest of them. Put them under regulation, train them, and get it, and then you see this flowing. It's just that sometimes we are too docile and we're not doing what we should do.
Okay, let's
so number 6, yes.
Really not our friend here.
So we talked about number 5, diverse and rich cultural heritage. I agree. 6 is good export potential. Cargo. Just like something is going on in Jos now, but we need to, as the state government, to use that opportunity to create jobs for the locals and don't allow people coming from outside and do the job the locals will do. They must pass through agents, regulated agents, by the way.
Nigerians.
Yes, Nigerians, yes.
Even if they have to go to the market, they can buy from dealers.
That's correct. But this things can be organized.
But you can't just go to the farm, because if that is allowed, the time will come. The Nigerians cannot even afford to buy from farmers or from the market, because they must have.
Anyway, I'm sure somebody is listening, and somebody will pass on this message to the state governments that are involved in this freighting of food items and some materials out of Nigeria. Yes, good business, but do them bearing in mind that you must create jobs with those. Don't let foreigners come here and take over, just like airlines that come here and do local flights. It shouldn't be allowed. So number 7 is government's current support. Remember, we are dealing with 10 reasons why we should do business with Faan, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. And remember, they haven't paid for this advert. We're giving this free. I hope they will be grateful for this.
And we have a
the government's
for them.
the government's current support for growth in aviation and tourism industry is a tonic, according to Faan. Then number 8, huge investment potential in all facets of the economy. Number 9, friendly populace. I agree completely. Nigerians are the best you can get in the world. Very friendly people. And believe you me, the tolerance of Nigerians for excesses of visitors is unbelievable. I don't know where it exists anywhere in the world. So I agree completely with this number 9.
And then number 10.
Number 10 is world-class hotels / restaurants are available everywhere in Nigeria.
You can't contest that. You can't contest the restaurant. They are so spread with African and other continental dishes. But that's the much we can take, and I'm sure this is the end of this topic.
That's correct.
And from next week,
we're
going to see something brand new. So that I can take your last word here because of the time. We have really spoken at length when we started with the crash or near mishap of Max Air, and then we moved to a Boeing state where they have been given an approval for airport, and some youth are agitating because of where the airport will be sited, and then we now look.
They should be cancelled and educated. That's what the state government should do. Cancel them and educate them on how these things work.
Yeah, we just hope that he will raise enough team. His team will be on the ground to sensitize and cancel them. The much we have on this segment this morning. We'll take a quick break. By the way, many thanks, Mr. Godwin Ike,
Thank you.
a licensed estate surveyor and valuer,
Thank you.
who finds pleasure in the things of aviation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And when we come back, shall be time to look at Nigeria versus South Africa. Is there any hope? Stay with us.